Hello there, commanders, and welcome on this beautiful day, one day after April 30th. Is it April 31st? Is it May 1st? Doesn't really matter, because the Persian faction texture preview is still here nonetheless, as promised. And we start at tier 1 with Pi and Band. Is going to be the starting for unit, obviously. And that is a new unit type as well, called SPARABARA. That's probably taken from the Persian language. Maybe it is an English word. I don't really know, because it's the first time I have ever heard about it. But what it essentially is, as you can see in the picture, is spear, shields, and bow. How are they going to play? Are they going to be like primarily archers, and then just with added spears and shields, like, for example, Lothar Seaguard from Warhammer 2? Or are they going to be primarily spearmen with phalanx and everything, and then with just additional bow shots? Maybe something like Roman infantry has 2 or 3. No, Roman infantry has 2, barbarians have 3 javelin throws, right? Maybe they will have some kind of ammunition as well. Or maybe it's just going to be something like focus fire, and it will be able to shoot every X seconds. We don't know. We'll see in the previews coming in the future. But now let's get moving on to tier 2 unit. After that we have Persian LEVY, then it goes on to Parthian mercenaries, then we have SPARABARA, so just being called as the same as the unit type, not very original, I guess. And then we have Veteran SPARABARA, again very original, so that's tier 5 if I am counting correctly. Then Marathi SPARABARA, then Parsag I think I made a... yeah, there should be 1G. This is GG, I guess. Parsagdai... I don't know. The Persian important city. I think they had multiple capital cities as well. So I'll not delve deep into it, because I'm not that well versed in the Persian history, and I do apologize for making this typo, but at least I'm immediately aware that I made a typo, so it just happens. Maybe the G just got pressed twice. Or my keyboard does that sometimes, it presses the key twice and I just didn't notice. Anyway, tier 8, Azad Guard. Very... oh yeah, they have different shield shape, and also spears that go through them. I do have the original look to them. But obviously, shield shape doesn't really matter, right? I don't know if I will already take that into account when counting missile block chance. I really doubt that. Then we have Immortals, which is what I said. Yep, that's just basically Immortals. Did I say that? No, I did not say that. This was something I meant to say. No, I did say that. Yeah, I did say that. See, that's my problem. Honored Immortals as tier 10 unit. We don't have anything further down. Okay. The Honored Immortals are our tier 10 SPARABARA, but further down, or rather earlier down the line, or up the line, depending how you depends how you want to look at it. We did have a new branch, and let's see. Bog. CAMELS. So CAMELRY is officially no longer a meme. It's a real thing. And is it just me, or do these camels look as they're doing a PogChamp face? I'm pretty sure a lot of you look exactly the same right now after seeing the camels. So yeah, at tier 3 we have baggage camels, little round shield plus spear, so essentially spear camelry. And the camel warriors at tier 4. The Camel Lancers at tier 5, and there's also a branching of down below. We'll get to that later. So that's probably shock camelry, not just spear camelry, but the icon in the game is still the same, although they do behave differently, obviously. And then at tier 6 we are back to regular spears, Persian Camel Riders. Oh, Raiders, sorry, Raiders. Then we have SOGDIAN Camel Raiders, very fancy pajamas and bigger shields. Then we have Camel Cataphracts, very heavily armored. And also lances, as you can see, much longer spears. So again, back to shock cavalry. And then armored camel warriors, back to the shield and shorter spears. And then at tier 10, Camel Cataphracts. Wait, what is this called? Okay, either I fucked up or they have... Maybe these are armored Camel Cataphracts? Would make sense. I probably made another typo. Well, I was doing that literally at 2 AM to bring it to you guys, so yeah, shit might have happened. Anyway, you know what's coming on. So tier 9 and 10 are going to be pretty much the same. I would like to see the Lancer variation up at tier 9 rather than at tier 8. Because tier 9 and 10 is when you have ability swapping, and they're mostly considered the two tiers that are interchangeable with one another. Where obviously tier 10 is generally slightly more powerful, but in general it's also like tier 9 is considered a variety tier. For example, in Greek tree you have Sacred Band at tier 9, which is more lightly armored but also much faster than tier 10 the Royal Spartans. And it's essentially, do you want a lighter, faster unit at tier 9, or do you want a slower but heavier unit at tier 10? Right, so it's not about just tier 10 being a straight up upgrade over tier 9, but it's more about alternative to tier 9. So for example, with Greek archers, the tier 9s are slower, heavily armored, faster reload. Tier 10, longer range, higher damage, but slower reload and lower armor, and a little bit faster. So there's a lot of differences between tier 9s and tier 10 units. It's essentially about choice, what you prefer, rather than just one being a straight upgrade to another. It's obviously not the rule for every single branch in all the tech trees, but it's definitely a pattern that I would like to see as much as possible. But then again, maybe the same is the case over here. Maybe the Camel Cataphracts and armored camel warriors are somewhat very different. But this would be definitely much more different with just having no shield and lances instead. You know, this guy looks like he has a shield over here, but doubt that because these guys obviously don't. So it's just some weird thing that he has. Maybe he's seed. Yeah, that's probably like a saddle. Yeah, most likely a saddle. Anyway, let's go down to next branch, which is going to be just regular horse, just regular horse cavalry, right? Not camel cavalry, camelry, whatever. Just horses. Just horses, people on them with lances. But apparently bows. Wait, did the camels have bows as well? No, they don't seem to have bows. So that's interesting. These guys have bows on their back, which may be similar to Sun Ren, because Chinese units also have bows on their backs, but they're not really shown. But when they are being played with Sun Ren, obviously she has piercing shot, and they take out their bows and shoot the piercing shot. So maybe something similar is going to happen here. Maybe cavalry, the horse cavalry will have an ability, there's a commander ability, or maybe it's a unit ability, but doubt that, that lets them shoot from a bow, just like piercing shot of Sun Ren. And otherwise that bow will just be there, forgotten, useless. Yeah, we'll just need to wait and see. Anyway, at tier 6 we have Parthian Cataphracts, which is a lance cavalry, shock cavalry rather. And we have Garif Panvar Cataphracts, again lancers. Then Savaran Cataphracts, which, I mean, the lances aren't as long, but I think they're also a little bit longer than a regular spear. Yeah, see, the spears over here just reach like their head levels, and they're not going out of the picture. But here they are getting out of the picture, so it's maybe it's just a graphic, but it's hard to tell at the moment. They do not have shields, so probably also lancers, but maybe the lance is somewhat shorter. I don't know. Maybe it has some kind of unique characteristic to it. Maybe not. Let's continue onward. And we have Pushtikban Cataphracts. Again, just Lance Cavalry, Shock Cavalry. And we have Zayedan Immortal Cataphracts. Tier 10 Horse Cavalry. Horse Cavalry. It's because this Camel Cavalry, Camelry, I don't know now, so I just kind of feel like I have to say Horse Cavalry, which is kind of a redundant thing to say, but then it isn't. I don't know. English is English, okay? Just cavalry, okay? And it's horse by default. So unless stated otherwise, it's horses, I guess. And well, that's it for the regular tech tree, but we also have some premium units, obviously. So let's go up and find them. Oh, there we go. I spoiled a little bit. But look, who's this guy? And if you remember my 3 new factions coming to the War Arena, that is Darius. So maybe we'll get to play him. Anyway, at tier 3, also a beautiful scenario of the Babylon Gate. Gate of Babylon, sorry. Very nicely looking. Really looking forward to see this background. It looks really, really awesome. Anyway, tier 3, Arabian Camelry. There we go, yeah, but they just committed to a meme as well, which is nice to see. Also, small round shield and spears, so same as the regular camelry, and they start at tier 3. And do these also start at tier 3? Yep. Yeah, that's tier 3. So, well, maybe there's going to be an entry, like the premium units right now. You can get them and then unlock tier 3 or tier 4 camelry with them. Now, tier 4, we have TAKABARA, which are javelin men. So a unique unit type in the form of a premium unit. So that's always interesting. Hopefully, you know, there are certain instances where a unique unit type that isn't otherwise present in the regular tech tree is overpowered because the commanders aren't balanced with that unit type in mind. For example, Murmila Gladiators being the only light infantry available to Romans. Luckily, they aren't in the game right now. But there's also 3 Arii, who are slightly overpowered, especially with Germanicus. Vengeance should be only on swords. Yeah, as it should have been once. As was described once as, but never actually worked like that. But it worked like that on Steam, because then, you see, back on Steam, Roman Tech Tree had spears, and those spears couldn't use Vengeance, but then got thrown out and then reintroduced in the form of premium units, and since then that was on Wargaming, and since then somehow Vengeance started working on them. I wonder why, maybe because premium. So yeah, CA really need to look into it, and it's like, are we just selling overpowered units, or are we actually, you know, trying to get our shit together? So I'm just gonna call them out on that, on the OP, not balanced, not fought through units. And then on, well, it's not like, for example, they would be very good with Sulla or Caesar, but they're just overpowered with Germanicus. Anyway, tier 5, Nician charges. So I would also expect that to just unlock the tier 6 shock cavalry. So that's really nice. Then we have Conquerors of Babylon, which I'm kind of disappointed by the look of them. They don't really look special. The name is extremely cool, Conquerors of Babylon, and they look like just standard infantry. Like nothing special about them. I would expect them. Well, they do have the Gate of Babylon in the background, which is also true for everybody else. But there's like a different angle to it. Well, depends, I guess. Cavalry has a different angle to it than infantry. Anyway. Maybe because cavalry is higher. But anyway, I would expect them to have like blue big shields, just like the Gate of Babylon itself. That would be extremely cool if they had those patterns, those golden horses and lions, I don't know, animals on them. That would be extremely cool if they had that sort of theme going on for them. Alright, and not looking special at all. Anyway, continuing on tier 7 NAFT throwers. And that is something really, really spicy to think about. Again, how are they going to work? Is it going to be an ability just like throw javelins? Is it going to be an ability like focus fire? Is it going to be just a regular thing that they can throw? Well, primarily we can see that they have swords and shields. So it's probably just sword infantry with a NAFT throw every X seconds, or possibly with limited ammunition as well. Just like Pila, or maybe just like focus fire, then no ammunition limit. Well, remains to be seen in the near future after I publish video on them. And then we have Royal Persian Archers on tier 8, so again, a unique unit type to, well, this is also a unique unit type, whether it is like javelin throwers, but instead of javelins they throw bombs. So yeah, we'll see about that. Actually, you can see that in the trailer. Just saying, there's a Persian faction trailer circling around with someone put together. And yeah, the Royal Persian Archers, another unique unit type at tier 8. So, well, since those are archers, I'm excited to see them. Maybe I'll get them, maybe not. But I also have committed myself to not buying any gold or anything else until Arena comes back to the West. If CA wants my money, bring the Arena back to my region. Otherwise, you're not getting it from me. And that decision obviously is up to everybody. Oh, really nice standard over here. And then we have Gyan Apspar, which is another tier 8 premium unit this time. Again, it's a little bit longer than a spear, but a little bit shorter than a lance. So I don't know what the dynamic over there is. But that's the end of the Persian tech tree. To zoom out a little bit. Really nice background over here as well. And then you can see, I think those are camel cataphracts. Yeah, that's the only color that matches. The other, it looks like they do have bows on their backs. Is that a bow? Maybe. Then in the middle, we have regular cavalry. And the lances don't seem to be that long, to be honest. Maybe it's one of the shorter ones. Maybe looks like SAVARAN cataphracts, maybe. Or maybe it's Zayaran. It's probably Zayaran IMMORTAL cataphracts. Again, a tier 10 unit. And then we have a spearman unit here on the left. So what could that be? Whoops. Probably this unit, although they have like a proper helmet, not a turban wrapped around them, and the shield looks different. But maybe it's just an upgraded one, right? And then they look different. Or maybe unit skins would be back. That would be cool. Probably not the case though. So anyway, look forward to the Persian faction. Now you can see it in full glory. And well, be hyped about it. Persia coming to Total War Arena on, well, not April 31st, because that date may or may not exist. It's still unconfirmed. Mark your calendars. But it is coming soon TM, as I read in the news update yesterday. So go check that out as well if you haven't already. And well, let me know in the comments below what you're most hyped about. Is it SPARABARA? Is it CAMELRY? Or is it the regular cavalry, cataphracts, shock cavalry tech tree? Similar to Greeks, I guess. Well, for me, I'm probably hyped about camels. Camels are probably the unit I'm going to play. Also, there is an interesting thing. I remember in Napoleon, I don't know if that was the case in Rome, but probably Rome too as well, that camels scare cavalry. So I wonder if you can have like an AoE smell effect, because they essentially smell and horses don't like the camel smell, and in other total wars it was represented by cavalry around camels losing morale. So I wonder if that's going to be the case over here as well. If that's going to be camels, maybe like the first anti-cavalry cavalry, if you think about it. So yeah, that is definitely something interesting that I would like to see, if that's going to be the case, but is that morale penalty going to be enough? I don't know. We'll see after we start testing the Persian Tech Tree. Videos about that incoming soon, probably every week or so. We'll see. Depends on when the faction will actually be released. Maybe I'll hold on to the videos. I'm still yet to make them, don't worry. It's not like I just have them, I know everything, and I just withholding information from you. No. I still haven't played the Persian faction properly. So anyway, that's coming in the future. Be hyped. Comments down below for you. And until the Persian faction is released, and after that as well, obviously, I will see you on Arenas, Battlefields, Commanders.